Hi everyone, my name is Sydney Pilla, and today we're diving into something that affects millions of students, especially those of us here at UConn: student debt. I don't know about you, but every year when the tuition bills come in, it's like a punch to the gut. And if you're an out of state student like me, that punch is even harder. We're talking about big numbers here. Numbers that are making it harder for students to get the education they deserve without drowning in debt. Now, I know this might seem like a personal problem for some, but it's actually a huge societal issue. This isn't just about the money we owe. It's about how it impacts our economy, our mental health, and even the future of our country. So, stick with me for the next few minutes, and I'll explain why this issue matters and how we can change it. Let's kick things off with the cost of tuition. If you're a student here at UConn, you've probably already seen the price tag. For out of state students like myself, it's over $40,000 a year. Yeah, you heard that right. $40,000. To put that into perspective, in-state students pay about $22,000 a year, which is nearly half the price. According to the UConn Bursar website, out-of-state tuition for the 2025 school year will be around $44,000, up from $43,000 last year. That's an increase of $1,000 in just 1 year. Imagine what it'll be like in 10. And here's the thing: this is a reality for so many students across the country. We're forced to borrow huge amounts of money just to cover tuition. But tuition isn't even the only issue. It's not like we can just scholarship our way out of this. So, what's the next hurdle? Financial aid, or rather, the lack of it. Now, let's talk financial aid. For out of state students, it's like we're playing a game with one hand tied behind our back. Here at UConn, in state students get some pretty sweet deals: full rides for top students, extra state funding, and more scholarship opportunities. But for us out of staters, not so much. As stated by UConn Financial Aid, Connecticut high school valedictorians get full scholarships, but there's no similar program for students coming from out of state. So what's left for us? Loans. Lots of loans. Without these financial resources, we're basically left with no choice but to take on massive debt. And it doesn't stop there. This debt has some serious consequences that we need to talk about. So, what happens when we have to take out all of these loans? Let me tell you. Let's get real for a second. Student debt is no joke. According to bestcolleges.com, the average UConn graduate leaves with over $38,000 in student loan debt. And that's not just a one time issue. In fact, the average loan balance has gone up by more than $1,000 just in the past year alone. That is a huge increase. And here's the kicker: the debt delays your whole life. Research from the Federal Reserve shows that it's delaying home purchases, family planning, and even retirement savings. Think about it. How can you start saving for retirement when you're still trying to pay off loans just to get through the basics? It's a vicious cycle. And it's not just affecting us, it's having a massive impact on our economy and mental health. When graduates have this much debt, it doesn't just affect their personal lives, it affects the economy too. The more money we have to pay towards loans, the less money we can spend on goods and services. This means slower economic growth, which impacts everyone. But that's not all. The stress of student debt is also a huge factor in mental health issues. According to the National Institute of Mental Health, the financial strain has been linked to higher rates of anxiety, depression, and burnout. The bigger the loan balance, the greater the psychological toll. It's clear, this is not just a financial problem, it's a personal and societal one too. So, what do we do about all this? Well, we can't just keep letting this slide. Change is needed, and it's needed now. The rising tuition costs, the limited financial aid for out of state students, and the mountain of student debt are all problems that need immediate attention. Here's how we can start. First, we need to push for tuition reforms and more accessible financial aid for out of state students. We need policy changes that make education more affordable for everyone, no matter where you're from. And let's not forget loan forgiveness programs. These could make a massive difference in alleviating some of the debt burden students are carrying. We can also advocate for institutions to provide more scholarships and funding for students who need it the most. The more we push for change, the better future generations will have it. As Robert Reich once said, a decent society wouldn't push millions of students into debt. It would recognize that higher education isn't mainly a personal investment, it's a public good. It's time we turn education into what it should be: a public good, not a financial burden. Let's make this happen together. Thank you for listening, and I hope you'll join me in advocating for change.